Welcome back. This is Mike. Today I want to talk to you about major changes that are happening to eBay. If you buy or you sell, you're going to be affected by most of these changes. Some are seller-based, but most affect both. But we're going to get into talking about managed payments. The managed payments has already gone into effect, but I'm going to discuss this, give you maybe a couple of tips if you're dealing with that, and we're going to go into all that. Then, of course, some of the pluses, minuses, positives. I think they're getting a little bit better with it. We're going to talk a little bit about this autopay, which is causing quite a few issues, and we'll discuss what those issues are. Maybe I'll give some suggestions for eBay, how to make it a little bit better, but there are some issues with this, and I will be discussing that. If you bought anything this last weekend, you probably already know what these issues are. And some interesting changes that are coming to shipping. Now, this is going to be affecting anybody that really uses the U.S. Postal Service, but eBay uses it a lot, and you're going to start seeing a lot of people using it a lot on eBay. I'm going to explain the Ground Advantage and how it actually is really good. Talk about this and more coming up. First, I want to talk about why eBay is doing this managed payment thing, and so they wanted to separate from PayPal. They were part of the same organization, and they are completely different entities now. And with that, it seems like eBay is not wanting to use PayPal at all, but they're still allowing users to use it. They make the sellers pay all the PayPal fees. It does kind of suck. And with that, it's almost like they had a really bad divorce, a really nasty separation, and it still to this day is causing problems. It's going to cause more problems down the road, but they really want that 4%. That 4% that PayPal was charging, they wanted that money for themselves. It all comes down to money. Everything in 2023 comes down to money. Everything. Okay, so what exactly is managed payments? That is effectively eBay is going to be processing all of the payments, and they are going to process your credit card transactions, or all transactions will be processed through them. They will also process the PayPal, but your credit cards. And the downside to this is that they're trying to get you to put a credit card in every single time you use eBay. It's like a constant put a credit card directly with them. I personally like to use PayPal over just putting a credit card in there, but other people just don't really care. And the thing is they just want to completely factor them out. So as sellers, if you sell something on eBay, you're going to see this screen here. You're going to go to your selling, select the payments tab, and then it'll tell you pretty much your funds available. Now, I do want to say that in the early days, it was taking like 5 days for them to process. Now it's down to 2 or 3 days to process these payments. And it's kind of it was a pain. It's still a little bit of a pain, but it's getting a little bit better, I think. I think that they're processing a little bit faster, and they're getting better at what they do. I still felt like they should have just left it alone, let PayPal handle it, but they didn't want to. They wanted that cut of the pie, that slice of the pie, and we had to suffer for it. Now, they're going to make you link a bank account so that you can transfer money to it. That's the only way to really get the money out of it, unless you're just going to take all that money in and then just spend it on eBay. So with that, you do need to set up your bank account with them. Now, one of the problems, and I think that it's best to just go straight to the bottom and do the routing number directly and do your bank account number directly. I think that's the best way to do it. From what I've heard with other people having problems with it, that was the easiest way to get it done correctly and properly. And the funny thing is that we'll send like a couple of small payments, like 35 cents or something, and then withdraw them back just to make sure that the account's okay. But with that, this could be a point of contention setting it up. Then there's a fee schedule, and whether you have a store or you don't have a store and all of that kind of stuff. The fee schedule basically is you're paying 14% to 15%. That's pretty much what's going on. Whether you have a store or not, in the end of the day, you are going to be paying some extra money to eBay. But I also heard somebody was telling me that Mercari actually charges 20%. So eBay's still cheaper than Mercari, and eBay's the biggest one. But still, with that, they're trying to get every penny they can. I want to talk a few things about fees. They are going to basically say you made so much money on top of what you actually make. They're going to tack on the sales tax on there when it comes to your 1099K, and of course that's going to put you over the 600 probably. And so there's a fee that you didn't really incur. You had nothing to do with it, but yet they say you actually got paid that sales tax of that item, which is a problem. but the fees are really hard to calculate, and it's really kind of a challenge, and it really looks like it's a lot more than it really is. But they put that PayPal fee on you. So there's a lot going on with that, and it's a lot that's hard to extrapolate, and it does look like it's getting closer to the 20% like people say at Mercari. All right, so let's talk about automatic payment methods. And so this is something that happened this past week, and it sounds like it's really good for sellers to do an automatic payment. And so with that, what it would do, it would require buyers to pre-select what they're going to pay with, whether it's PayPal, checking account, credit card, or something along those lines, so that when you make an offer, then it's automatically paid for. And there is a problem, or there has been a problem, where people would win an auction and not pay for it. Or people would make an offer, it would get accepted and not get paid for. Then 4 days have to go by until that item can get relisted. And so this sounds like a great solution to fix it. But the way they're going about it doesn't really fix the problem. And I'll explain why. This actually causes more problems for both the buyer and seller. So one of the problems is that when the auction ends, that you're going to get billed right away. I think it's like a 6-minute time frame. And so that problem causes the fact that, let's say you want to buy 5 things from one seller, then you want to combine that shipping. And it's just going to automatically pay. It's going to charge you for the item, and it's going to charge you for the shipping for each item as you win those items. And that's going to cause a problem. Now, you could get with the seller prior and say, hey, would you combine shipping, or would you refund the difference? But that adds more issues with the seller if you ask the seller to go above and beyond and do all that kind of stuff. So this is causing a problem. There should be a way to maybe click something and say, hey, I don't want to pay for it for 24 hours because I'm bidding on a few other things, or 2 or 3 days, I'm bidding on a few other things. So this is one of those where they want to fix one problem, they cause 3 more. Next problem is if you pay with PayPal, you choose, hey, I want to use PayPal, and you say, okay, I'm going to use PayPal, and I want to use this particular credit card that's on there. Well, they're just going to bill whatever. It doesn't make any sense how it goes through. They will take your PayPal balance first, then it'll take it out of your bank account second, and then the last thing it would do would be the card that you actually set up. So it could cause a lot of problems, and you're intending to pay for it a certain way, and it gets paid a different way, causes confusion and issues. So they still haven't worked all of that out. I really do suggest that they do something to fix that, such as give you a certain amount of time frame to actually set all this up. But they just kind of spring it on you. Now, I've talked to some of my friends that said they wanted to bid on something, and it took them 5 minutes to set it all up, and it was frustrating to set it all up. It really doesn't take too long, but it is a frustrating factor, which is going to lead to a couple of issues, such as less people making offers, less people bidding, and those people that go through the frustration process here will probably lowball, because if they're going to make that offer, let's make up for it by offer $5 less or $10 less. But there are issues that are surrounding this. I know they try to solve a problem, but they just made it worse in a few other areas. Now for the upcoming shipping change, this is the Ground Advantage, started on July 9th, and so I didn't really want to talk about this on July 9th because I really didn't know how well it would work. Now, I have sent some stuff Ground Advantage, I have received a lot of stuff Ground Advantage, and with that, I haven't had any issues with it. It replaces First Class, sort of. I still see places where you can select First Class and ship First Class, so I think it's a transition period, but Ground Advantage is what eBay's gone to 100% for the replacement of First Class. And so what it does is it offers a few things. First of all, you get $100 of insurance coverage for it. Before, for First Class, you did not get any insurance coverage. So if the package got lost or damaged or something, then you would just be out. You'd be kind of screwed in that situation. Now they do have coverage. Now I do want to say that getting paid from the post office for the insurance for something getting lost or damaged is a nightmare. I've had friends that have had to deal with it. I've actually never had to deal with it in almost 30 years. All right, so here is a quick example of what it would look like if you're going to pick this Ground Advantage, and so it calls it US Parcel Select or Ground Advantage. And so this is a little confusing. Looking at this, it's giving you ranges of how it would go, but for the most part, most of the things are shipping for around the $5 to $6 mark. Now, before you're able to ship stuff for $4, and if it's light enough, you still can ship it for $4, but it's going to take probably an extra day to get there, but I haven't noticed much difference. And I tell you this, I think that if you ship something Ground Advantage, you're probably going to get it there exactly the same speed as if you shipped it Priority. I don't really think there's going to be any difference if you were to ship two packages to the same address on the same day. One was Ground Advantage and one was Priority. I think they'd still make it there the same day. I really think they're using the same infrastructure to do that. It's not like they're flying the other stuff. But I might be wrong, though. I might actually be completely wrong. And here's a shipping clip there, 565. I don't know all the dimensions and where it is. So I do want to talk about a couple of things. So there are still two major components that affect the Ground Advantage pricing, because it's not all the same price, not a flat rate or anything like that. So it's not the size of your package, although you do want to enter that. It is the weight of your package. So if your package weighs below 6 ounces, it's the lower rate. If it's above 6 ounces, up to I think 12, it's a secondary rate, and over 12, it is a higher rate. So there's another factor though that factors into it, and that is the region of the country. Now, this is all domestic shipping. International is really a big challenge, and I don't really know how to break that down worldwide, but I can touch on that just a bit. International shipping through the post office has gotten really expensive. eBay actually has their own way of doing it. It goes to a shipping center in Kentucky or something. I don't know. There's multiple different international shipping hubs that eBay uses. Now, before they had the global shipping and then I guess international standard delivery, now it's updated to something called international, just eBay International. So before, eBay handles international returns, and they wouldn't, I still don't really know how that's going to be handled with the international returns. My understanding is there are no returns on international items. So that is a policy that, my understanding, no international selling fees. And so there's different costs that would be associated with different areas. I mean, you're still going to have to pay your duties if that comes in. If you're in a country that charges tariffs, duties, taxes on goods that are coming into the country, then you're still going to have to pay that, and that's going to be collected by eBay. Reduced shipping costs for buyers. Now, I got to tell you that I don't agree with that. I don't think that with the new eBay International that it does reduce shipping costs for buyers. In fact, I think it is more expensive. I think it's higher than it was. Sellers and shipping protection for items not received. So that is one really good thing. I will say that if eBay loses it, everybody's going to be made whole. And that is their guarantee with this. But I think that's always been the guarantee. And so with that, that's a good point that they still maintain that. Ships to domestic hub, I think it always has done that. And then 200 participating countries. And I don't know what countries are not on that list, but with that, international shipping is extremely expensive, especially in 2023. So I hope I cleared up some of these issues that are going on with eBay between sellers or buyers, both. This is still the largest platform for buying and selling, and especially when it comes to the collectibles market, because there are certain things released in some parts of the world or some parts of the country that you don't have access to. So buying it on eBay is really the only way some people can get certain items. And so with that, I'm glad that eBay's still here. Would I support another platform that could actually take over eBay? Yeah, I actually would. But I bet you they would have to charge pretty much similar prices as eBay, and probably even more. So let me know what you think about these changes. Have they affected you? Have you noticed them? And was this video helpful? Like and subscribe.